The moment stayed with him like a bruise that never fully faded. A quiet restaurant, a flickering candle, and a woman's voice so small it almost disappeared into the clink of cutlery and soft music. She lowered her eyes, her hands tightening together, and the truth fell between them with the weight of a confession. She could not afford the date. In that fragile instant, something far bigger than money stood on the table, and what this single father chose to do next would ripple through both their lives in ways neither of them could have imagined. Before the story unfolds any further, take a moment right now. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, in the quiet power of compassion that can change life, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps stories like this alive. He had not planned to be there that night. Most evenings, his world ended at the small kitchen table of his apartment, where homework papers mixed with unpaid bills and his daughter's crayons rolled under his chair. Being a single dad had taught him to live with a constant take behind the ribs. The kind that came from loving someone more than yourself and fearing every day that you were not enough. He had lost his wife years earlier to an illness that arrived quietly and left devastation behind. Since then, life had become a series of careful calculations, every decision weighed against what it meant for his daughter's future. Work was steady but exhausting. He took every extra shift he could, sometimes sleeping in his car between jobs because it saved time and gas. Friends drifted away, not out of cruelty but because grief changes a person, and he no longer fit into their easy laughter and weekend plans. Dating was not something he thought he deserved. Still, loneliness has a way of knocking when you least expect it, and when a coworker insisted he join a small group dinner, he agreed out of politeness more than hope. That was how he met her. She was quiet, observant, and carried a sadness that mirrored his own. They spoke in careful sentences, circling around their pasts without diving too deep. He learned she worked long hours, supported her younger brother, and rarely did anything for herself. She learned he was a father first and always. When he asked her to dinner days later, it felt like a risk and a promise at the same time. The restaurant was modest but warm, the kind of place where the lighting forgives tired faces and the food smells like comfort. He had saved for this, setting aside a little from each paycheck, wanting the night to feel special. When she arrived, she looked nervous, smoothing her clothes as if trying to erase her own presence. As the evening unfolded, he noticed how carefully she studied the menu, how she avoided ordering anything extravagant. He felt a flicker of concern but pushed it aside, determined to enjoy the rare moment of normalcy. Then came the moment that changed everything. Her shoulders slumped, and she admitted she could not pay her share. The words were barely audible, wrapped in embarrassment and fear. He saw tears threaten at the edges of her eyes, not the dramatic kind, but the quiet ones that come from years of carrying too much alone. In that instant, he understood this was not about a meal. It was about dignity, about the shame people feel when survival leaves no room for small joys. He did not feel pity. He felt recognition. He remembered standing at grocery stores counting coins, pretending not to notice the size of people waiting behind him. He remembered choosing between heating and medicine. He remembered the humiliation of asking for extensions and the relief of anonymous kindness. The world had not been gentle with him, but it had taught him something essential. He reached for the check without hesitation, not as a grand gesture, not as a savior, but as a man who understood. He made it clear through his calm presence that there was no debt, no obligation, no embarrassment necessary. The night did not end in awkward silence. Instead, something softened between them. She smiled, truly smiled, perhaps for the first time in a long while. They talked until the restaurant closed, about books they loved, dreams they had set aside, and the strange strength that comes from surviving hardship. In the days that followed, she expected distance. People often disappear when vulnerability enters the room. Instead, he called to ask how her day had been. He sent messages reminding her to eat, to rest, to be kind to herself. They took slow walks in the park, free activities that cost nothing but time. He introduced her to his daughter carefully, aware of how fragile trust can be. She fit into their lives not with force, but with gentleness, helping with homework, laughing at small jokes, becoming a quiet presence of support. Yet life does not transform overnight. Challenges remained. Her financial struggles did not vanish. His responsibilities did not lessen. There were moments when insecurity crept in, when she wondered if she was a burden, when he feared opening his heart might invite loss again. They navigated these fears not with dramatic confrontations, but with patience. He never made her feel small. She never made him feel alone. Months passed, marked by small victories. She found a better job opportunity through a connection he encouraged her to pursue. He learned to ask for help when exhaustion threatened to overwhelm him. Together, they built something fragile and resilient, like a bridge made from shared understanding rather than grand promises. His daughter grew attached to her, sensing safety and warmth. The apartment, once heavy with silence, filled with life again. One evening, as they sat together after another long day, he realized how profoundly that single choice at the restaurant had altered the course of his life. By choosing kindness over pride, empathy over judgment, he had opened a door not just for her, but for himself. Love had returned not with fireworks, but with quiet consistency. The true change came when hardship struck again. Unexpected medical bills threatened to undo everything they had built. Stress weighed on them both, and old fears resurfaced. This time, though, they faced it together. She stood beside him, refusing to be pushed away. Friends, once distant, noticed the strength they shared and stepped in to help. Kindness, it seemed, had a way of multiplying when given freely. He thought often about the night she confessed she could not afford a date. How easily he could have reacted with discomfort or withdrawal. How many times the world teaches people to turn away when things get uncomfortable. Instead, he had stayed. That decision became a compass guiding him through every challenge that followed. As the years went on, their lives stabilized. It was not a fairy tale ending, but it was real. They learned that love is not about rescuing or being rescued. It is about seeing someone fully and choosing to stand with them anyway. His daughter thrived, surrounded by care and example. She grew up understanding that strength and kindness are not opposites, but partners. If this story is beginning to stir something in you, hold on to that feeling. It is a reminder that the smallest moments often carry the greatest power. Just before we reach the end, I want to ask you something special. Please comment below and share your thoughts or a moment when kindness changed your life. Your words might be exactly what someone else needs to read today. In the end, he never remembered the cost of the meal. He remembered the look in her eyes when she realized she was safe from judgment. He remembered how one simple act of understanding became the foundation for a family rebuilt from loss. Life did not become perfect, but it became meaningful. And sometimes, meaning is the greatest gift we can give each other. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that compassion still matters in a hard world, please like the video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Your engagement helps spread stories of hope, and together, we can remind others that kindness still has the power to change everything.